This anti-sales script is directly responsible for generating me more than $12 million, and it's made tens of millions more for Impact School clients. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire thing, which I named the Flexi Framework. I'm going to guide you through it from A to Z and share all of my secrets, because I'm at a point in my career where I no longer want to compete, I want to empower. So I asked my team to go back through all of our archives to give it out to you for free on my YouTube channel here. And in case this is the first time that you've seen my videos, my name is Tickner and I'm the founder and CEO of Impact School, a company that was named by Forbes magazine as #1 thanks to our work in helping thousands. When I was an online fitness coach back in 2015, I absolutely hated selling because I felt so pushy and I felt so sleazy and weird, so I always ended up undercharging, overstretching, and ultimately burning out. And being fully transparent, it was to the point where I just started resenting my clients, so full disclosure. Since then, I've seen this happen a lot. People who are really bloody good at what they do are not able to enroll new clients successfully because they don't have the right framework. So please, plug and play my Flexi framework so that you can get more dream clients, serve more people, because ultimately, if you know that you can get people good results and you can get them to the outcome that you say that you can, then it's your moral and ethical duty to get those clients, because if you don't, then they're going to end up either continuing to try and fail by themselves, which is really frustrating for them. They'll end up getting sucked into some weird corner in the internet trying to figure it all out, or they're going to go sign up with somebody else who, if you're the best, well, they're not going to get as good results if they sign up with them instead of signing up with you. So you absolutely need to be able to sell to them, and that's what I'm really aiming for the Flexi framework to be able to help you with here today. And to be frank, in the past, I never would have thought that I'd give this out for free, because this literally is our framework and our playbook for ultimate success. So if you find that this is helpful, please do share it with a friend who's a business owner, entrepreneur, coach, consultant, course creator, because what Impact School has been doing for years is helping people grow, coaching, courses, and cash flow using frameworks just like what I'm about to share with you. I'll even leave a link to the document, which is in my Facebook group, the exact Flexi framework that I'm going to be sharing with you here. So make sure to join that group so that you can get access to it. The link is below this video, so I hope you enjoy. So yeah, let's jump into the screen share and I can break this all down for you.
Hello and welcome to this training. Lauren Tickner here, founder and CEO of Impact School. And what I'm about to walk you through is the exact sales formula that myself and my sales team use when we're closing deals, when we are enrolling new clients. And the beautiful thing about this process is that it's not really sales at all, because ultimately you're flipping the script and empowering the person that you're speaking to ultimately sell themselves, and for them to, at the end of the call, literally be begging to sign up to work with you. So you oftentimes hear things like objection handling and how to overcome objections, but ultimately the sales process that we are teaching you here is designed to ensure that there are very few objections at all. And so that it can just be a seamless process, which allows you and your company to enroll the type of clients that you want to be working with, that you can get results, and who you just enjoy and find a pleasure to partner with. And so with that said, that's what I'm going to be guiding you through here. So this document that you have access to, again, if you don't have already your own copy, just in the corner here, you'll see, if you own it, right? If not, then what you're going to want to do, rather than requesting edit access, is hit file and then make a copy to create your own version. Okay. So with that said, the very first thing, to start off a sales call, a lot of times something that I see is people saying that you need to make all this small talk. Really, it's not necessary at this point. Both of you know why you're there. They have already been primed through the pre-sales call process to know that this is going to be a call to discuss getting coaching or consulting from you. So it shouldn't really be this whole thing where you're having this small talk for ages. What I find I like to do is hey, how's it going, Samantha? How's your day going so far? Yep, great. How about yourself? Yeah, no, doing great, thank you. By the way, whereabouts are you calling in from again? Then they'll say where they're from. Then just whatever. And then boom. Then you get straight into it, okay? Now, the sales process that we use at Impact School is called the Flexi Framework. And the reason why it's a Flexi Framework is because it's not a script. It's so funny when you get onto a call with someone who's following a sales script. It's just so cringy, because you know exactly that they're reading from a piece of paper. Flexi framework is more like the money-making messaging method, which by now you'll know because that's the process that you've been using or that your team has been using inside of the DMs and Messenger in order to get sales calls booked. Flexi framework is the exact same thing. You can think about it like a checklist, okay? So let's get into that document. Again, if you haven't already made your own copy, then be sure to do so. But there are basically 6 points that you need to tick off the box before you can go into kind of the pitch, but it's not really a pitch, because you'll see here that after the intro, after you've been through the 6 parts of the Flexi framework and ticked all of that off, you're not actually going to be like, okay, so sounds great, like I can really help you, you can join my program. No. We are not going to be doing that. Instead, ultimately what you do is you're going to ask them if they'd like some honest and genuine feedback based upon where they're at right now. And all of that feedback is going to be based upon what you find out in the Flexi framework, okay? So if it's okay with you, I'm going to first walk you through the Flexi framework, and then I'm going to walk you through the pre-pitch, and then ultimately the whole rest of the script. Again, it's not really a script. So again, we first have our intro, then we get straight into our 6 points of the Flexi framework. We tick all of them off, and then we move into the pre-pitch. A lot of times I'm asked, okay, so how long should it take me to get through this whole process? I find that on average, a really great sales call can be about 35 minutes when done right. If you find that you're on the call for an hour, it's likely that you're just putting off the pre-pitch and putting off the part where you talk about the program because of potentially you're afraid of an objection or you don't feel confident in your program, okay? So having confidence in the program that you're selling is so important, because then you're so able to enroll people in, because you know that when they come in, they're going to get results. Okay, so of course at Impact School, we help people build those programs. The 7-figure course model that we follow empowers them, our clients, to feel so confident about enrolling their prospects. So anyways, back to the Flexi framework. So again, the first thing that you need to get out of them is their pain and doubt. And by the way, this is in no particular order. Like straight away, the call could start and they could say, oh, well, I'm calling in from Minnesota. Me and my business partner, we live here together. Oh, interesting. So how long have you and your business partner been working together on this company, right? Immediately, then you can get to the bottom of the decision-making ability. Who actually is the decision maker? Is it them or is their business partner involved? If their business partner is involved, then you can't tick this part off the box, and it means that you need to book them onto a second call with the business partner being there, so that then you can get into the feedback phase, okay? So straight away you would already know, okay, you can get through some of this stuff, but there's no point in ever inviting them to a program if their partner isn't there, because if the partner is going to be the one who's making the decision as well, then what's the point, right? So whether it's their business partner or whether it's their life partner or their parent, like whoever it happens to be, you need to get that out. And if it happens to come out the very first moment that you're on the call, fine. But if you start off with the desire, it doesn't matter the order, okay? It's a tick box. Just you can go wherever the hell you want. And that is why it works, because it ensures that you're not following a really, really spammy sales script, which is a forceful conversation. It allows the conversation to flow naturally and organically, okay? So essentially, you need to get to the bottom of their pain, okay? So it's pretty easy to just ask them, why did you decide to want to seek out our help? That oftentimes gets them to either talk about their desire or their pain. You'll find that as humans, we are innately we're on this path to always talk about the negative. And so you'll find that typically this will come out first. But anyways, so you can just straight up ask them, so what are you struggling with? What's the biggest challenge? Where are you stuck? These are all just question prompts to kind of, get to get their struggles out, right? Like, so what do you feel like you need help with? If you could have one problem solved today, just you can just pick and choose whatever feels right? That's why it's kind of good to have this open in front of you, so that when the conversation's flowing, you can just ask one of these. So rather than just saying, so what's your biggest challenge? Where are you stuck? Okay, so what's the bottleneck? Like, you don't want to be like that, okay? Rather than being super, super just militant with it, just be conversational, acknowledge what they say. Think about putting this sort of, these spectacles on. And when you have these spectacles on, you are in this mode of really getting to the bottom. Like, that's interesting that you're struggling with said problem. If it's okay, if you don't mind me asking, what have you tried already to overcome that? I mean, has anything been effective so far? Okay, so you want to like ask these open-ended questions, but then when you ask the open-ended question, you can kind of then go into like backing it off a little bit. Okay, so it's like, so what have you been trying already? Just, out of interest, it's really helpful when I get a better understanding of what you've been attempting so that I can then, see what might be a better fit for you. So you kind of just want to, keep it conversational like that. Okay, so opportunity cost, right? So like, let's just say right now they're already trying, let's say they're trying to lose weight, right? Right now they're already trying to do endless hours of cardio a day and they're trying the ketogenic diet, but it's just not working. Well, all of that time and effort invested there, that's clearly time that could be spent doing your thing that's going to be way better, okay? Simultaneously, let's just say they're trying to build like this certain type of business and they're trying so hard to be like a one-on-one consultant, when you know that that's not a scalable model and ultimately that's only going to cause them to crash and burn. Again, that's the opportunity cost, right? Desire, that's the vision, the goals that they have. You want to get to the bottom of that. So when they tell you, oh, well, I really want to drop 20 pounds. Okay, why do they want to drop 20 pounds? They want to look good in the mirror for sure, but like, how do they really want? They want to feel sexy in bed with their partner. They want to feel loved. They want to finally feel that self-love for themselves that they've never had from so many years of self-hatred, right? If they really, really want to find the love of their life, they want to find that partner so that then they can have someone to travel with and enjoy the finer moments in life, right? If they really want an online business, why is that? For sure, maybe they want to make more money, but ultimately it's potentially because they want to be able to build generational wealth for themselves and their family and know that their dad that was abusive to them as a kid, they're never going to be that same type of father, right? They're going to be able to give their kids a life of abundance. Getting to the bottom of this is amazing, because then if they say that they want to be able to have more money and then you get to the bottom of the fact that they just want to be able to give their kids a great life, and you can be like, wow, that's incredible. You are truly in this for just the most amazing reasons. And out of interest, where do you want to travel to first? And then that will get them to paint that picture in their minds of like, they can then start seeing themselves in Disneyland with their kids. They can start feeling those feelings and that emotion when they're eating that candy floss. They'll be able to taste it in their mouth. When you can get them to paint that picture in their mind, they're then going to associate you with that, and that is going to get them to buy in to your level of support. Again, at Impact School, we know that our clients are able to get their clients' results. And so using these techniques is very, very beneficial, because it's going to ensure that the client finally gets the outcome. Now, I'm going to say, you have to be careful using these techniques, because if you're using them to sell something that isn't good, these can be very dangerous, okay? So I just want to leave that with a word of caution there. So please make sure that you're using this for the right reasons. Anyway, next thing is finances. So look, when it comes down to finances, I mean, if it's a business, if you're doing some type of business coaching or consulting, you can ask simple questions like revenue, what's the last 3 months? Again, these are just some, random sort of prompts with regards to different niches and such, just to get to sort of, more goals and everything like that. But finances is like, if you're not directly business coaching or business consulting, it can be like a little more challenging to get this out. So the way that I like to do this, and this is what I used to use all the time when I was a fitness coach, is I would ask them, once I've found out what they're already doing to try and get to their goals, I would say, my gosh, I mean, how much money have you spent on all of those different programs? And then they would start telling me, all of this money. And if they say no money, then it's all the time, right? And then that opportunity cost, because, ultimately money is less valuable than time. So if they say that they're spending hours doing it, it's like, well, literally all that time that they're spending could be used on money-making tasks. You know what I mean? So you basically just want to be able to frame this in a way where it just feels organic. So if you say to them, how much money have you been spending on all that? My gosh, if you're like a relationship coach, geez, all these first dates, how much money are you spending each time you go out? And they say like, $100 or whatever. And then they're going on like 5 a month, $500 a month. Oh my gosh, because then when you tell them the price of your program, it doesn't really feel like much, because you're actually going to get them the result. Okay. Next thing, obviously, again, no particular order, partner, and then trust. So then, just when it comes to this trust question, this one's great because it just basically gets it to flip this conversation on its whole head. This is a pretty simple, commonly used technique, so you don't necessarily want to use it so straight up, but you can just say to them, so out of interest, out of all the coaches out there, why do you want to get on this call with my team, or with me, or or the Impact School team? And then they're just going to start telling you all the good things about you. Okay, simple. Okay, and so then once you've gone through that, that's essentially the Flexi framework. You need to tick all these things off the box. Again, if they're mentioning their family, you mention, how do they feel about this? You want to just get deeper, right? People often ask like very surface level questions. You don't want to just do that. Because once you've got to the bottom of it, you can say to them, and this is how you transition. So, Samantha, I mean, based upon everything that you've said so far, would you be open to some honest, genuine feedback on where you're at? And then they're going to say yes, and then just be like, okay, well, again, I'm not pulling this out of thin air. This is having been in the trenches for the past amount of time, having helped number of clients achieve types of results. People who are in a similar position, a very similar position, exactly to where you're at right now. So just bear that in mind, kind of as I'm going through this, and then firstly, then just let them say, yeah, no, they'll be like, yeah, no, I'm here for feedback. Like, that's why we're on this call. And then you can say, and by the way, at this point, just before moving forward, is there anything else that you'd like me to hear kind of before I get started? Maybe that we didn't go over already, and just give them some time to speak. Okay. And then that's when you're going to get back into here, which is basically the pre-pitch. So you're basically, getting their permission, building the credibility, like I just said, and then you're basically going to highlight like what they think their biggest problem is. So you would have asked them this earlier on in the call. So, potentially they're just probably going to say, now I understand that you feel like your biggest problem is that you just don't understand how to find the perfect macros for you. Okay. Now I understand that you feel like your biggest problem is that you just don't have a big enough following on social media. Now I understand that you feel like the problem is that you just aren't attractive enough, or that you're too old to find the love of your life. And then you go, but I'd like to argue that actually the biggest bottleneck and the thing that's ultimately going to hold you back is, and then whatever it is, right? Something that's going to like blow their mind. Okay, then you're going to say, here's why this thing is a problem. Here's what will happen if you don't change or fix that problem. And here's what you need to do to fix it. Here's what will happen if you do fix it. And here's how easy it would be with us. And then add some client results. And then, okay, so this is just sort of random stuff that you can just read through in your own time. Now we get through down to the results you'll see by fixing this problem, blah, blah, blah. So then you're going to add a testimonial there, and then you'll say, so like, so at this point, do you have any questions based upon everything that I've been through? I mean, I can walk you through our process of exactly how we'd make that happen, A to Z if you'd like, but let me know where you want to go. And then just stop, boom. And then when you stop, that's when they're going to say like, yeah, like I would love to know. If you've done this right, they probably have already asked you at this point, like, how can I do that? And so then at that point, you're just going to essentially get into like, yeah, great. So look, I mean, the program that I'm thinking of for you is designed specifically for people who are just like you in a position, exactly where you're at right now. And here's how this works. And then you're going to pull upon the parts of your offering which are related to them. So you're not going to start going in and saying like, yeah, so we're going to work together for 8 weeks and we're going to do this and this. It's like, this program is designed specifically for people who want to drop 30 to 40 pounds without needing to do excessive amounts of cardio and without even having to cut out any of the food that you love. And the most beautiful thing is I'm going to show you how to never need to diet again. Okay? Just add the things that they want, right? Really tailor this to them, provided that obviously your program does do that. And again, if it doesn't, then just be honest with them, right? Just like make it clear. If you can't help them, just make that ultra clear to them. So really, this part is really just going through your program, okay? pulling upon the parts that they want. You don't need to talk for ages, and throughout you speaking about it, just keep asking them, so does that make sense? And then when you get to the end, you want to ask them, so that's I feel like I've been through the things that are going to be the most beneficial for you, but was there anything else in particular that you were looking for in a coach or a consultant? So you ask them first, so then you can make sure that you have that, right? And then you can have that for them. Okay? And then you can be like, so at this point, and this is kind of like, this is something to do when you're newer to sales. As you progress through sales and as you get better and better, you don't need to do this because you can just innately tell where someone's at. But like when you're brand new, you can say to them, so on a scale of 1 to 10, if you don't mind me asking, with 10 being, this sounds, kind of like exactly what I need, where would you say you're at when it comes to this program? Then if they're like an 8+, then, that's really great. If they're 7 or less, then that's kind of concerning. You probably don't want to invite them to the program. So if they say 7, you could be like, wow, okay, so that's pretty low. Why so low? If they say 8, you can be like, okay, great. So, at this point, I feel very good about inviting you to join our program here at Impact School. So if it's okay with you, I can walk you through the investment and how we can get you started. By the way, just before you do that, you actually want to make sure that you need to make sure that you ask them, so how soon are you looking to get started? Because if they say in like a couple months from now, there's no point inviting them to join. You need to say like, oh wow, that's pretty far away. Why so far away? I thought you were looking to right now. And then they'll give you some excuses, which shows, again, they're not going to be a good, perfect client for you. Okay, so then you can get to the bottom of why they're wanting to wait for so long. And if it's that they have another coach, well, you can call them out. Like, why are we on this call if you already have another coach? Like, I'm pretty surprised. If one of my clients was on a call with another coach, I've never heard of that happening. I would just be really, really shocked that they're not getting results with me. And then when it comes to if they're just like, yeah, well, I just feel like I just need some time just to try and figure it out by myself. Well, Samantha, how long have you been trying to figure this out for yourself already? Right? And then they'll say like all this amount of time. Just be like, well, would you be satisfied if another year went by and you were still in the same place as you're at right now? And clearly they're going to say no. Okay. So then anyways, so yeah, usually at this point, most people want me to go over the investment, but I'll leave that up to you. Where do you want to go from here? Yeah, no, I'd love to know the price. I'd love to know the cost. People always say that. Be like, so you mean cost or investment? And then they'll be like, isn't that the same thing? Well, a cost is something where you pay the money and then, it's just dead money, sunk, it's gone. Whereas an investment is, money that is going to buy you a better future. So do you feel confident that this is a cost or an investment? And then they'll say it's an investment, okay? And so then you'll tell them, so the upfront investment for the program is going to be, and then you can basically ask them like, is that feasible for you? And then they're going to say no. Then they'll be like, okay, so we could split it out into 2 payments if that would be easier. They'll probably say no, unless they're all in. And they can be like, okay, well, we don't usually do this, but you're speaking to me, not someone from my team. So what do you feel like you could put down today so that we could get you started? And then they'll say some number and then be like, is there any way that you could stretch it to and then you can basically figure something out that works. Okay, so that's basically how that works, like this whole entire sales script. It's very, very effective, and this is a very different way of doing sales than most people. That's why it works. And again, like if at the end they say no, you don't want to like let them off straight away. You want to loop it 3 times. So if they keep saying like, oh, well, the price is too low, okay, then loop, get back onto the Frexy framework. Okay, so if they're like, there's just no way I can make it work, just be like, well, Samantha, and again, this is where people back off and they're afraid, okay? Remember, if they don't join your program, they're not going to get the results. So it's in your best interest for them to actually show them why they need to join. So you can say, oh, well, Samantha, I mean, earlier you told me that you want to be able to take your kids to Disneyland. And I'm very, very confident that with regards to having our help, we'll be able to get you there. So, don't you think it would be in their best interest to get started now rather than waiting for 3 months? Just flipping it on its head back then. If after 3 loops there's no luck, just whatever, like they're a goner. Now, you don't want to get off the call though without booking in for another call. Because on the next call, you can always downsell them something. Or on the next call, they might have had a change of heart. Don't let them get off the call until something else is physically on the calendar, okay? You don't want to follow up with them. You don't want to write a proposal. If they're asking for things in writing, again, they probably don't see the value enough. Now, some people do genuinely want to see it in writing, so that's fine. Like, have a document which explains the benefits of your program, and then every time you have a new person asking for it, just duplicate that document and then send it to them. But make sure that you have a call booked with them. You could even have the call booked and go over it with them. Be like, yeah, for sure, I'll get something in writing for you and we can go over it on a call together. How's the same time tomorrow? They'll be like, oh, I can do it in a few days. Okay, cool. Let's do it on Monday at this time. Get it booked in on the calendar. And then if they're just like super defensive, like, no, it's not for them, again, don't pressure them into it. What's the point in pressuring someone? They're going to be a nightmare client to work with, okay? So again, that's the script. Hopefully that works. Flexi framework, Impact School's amazing sales technique. You can teach this to your team. You can send this video to your team. Again, you know, people try to rip this process off all the time. We've nailed it. And yeah, we also have a sales agency. That's why we train dozens and dozens of closers a month. So if you ever need done for you sales, once you're making 100K revenue per month, you know where we are. We can take control of those sales for you. That's what we do for clients. And with that said, yeah, you'll see your sales closing rate easily maintained above 45%. So looking forward to seeing your results from the Flexi framework. If you see some results, then yeah, post in the group. I would love to take a screenshot, put that testimonial on my stories and on our sales pages. And yeah, grateful to serve you.
So with that said, that probably wasn't my most eloquent way of explaining this, because inside of Impact School, our coaches work one-to-one with our clients to actually inject it. However, this is just a video from a long time ago from the archives, but it's still the exact same framework that we use today, the Flexi framework. And if you want to get access to the entire doc, make sure to click the link in the description, join my Facebook group, and it's going to be over in there for you. Again, my aim, I just don't want to compete. I want to empower. I want to give you all the frameworks that we have used to help hundreds, thousands of clients at this point grow their coaching, courses, and cash flow, because we have so much experience doing this. And truly, I am at this point in my career where my aim is just, I just want to go back through our archives, all of the content that we used to put out for paid money, people would pay us a lot for, give it away for free so that we can change this industry. Because the coaching industry has a bad name right now, and I really want to make sure that people who are the best at what they do can stay in their zone of genius and actually enroll new clients. So again, thank you so much for watching. Lauren Tickner, calling it a day, and make sure to go binge some of my other videos because I really know how much this can help you. All right, laters.